Good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and we are at the morning reading. And it's morning. The sun is streaming through my window. Feels like SoCal. I miss my SoCal, and blessings to all of you that are uh, remodeling and rebuilding your homes. It's really an amazing time for all of us. And it's my morning readings today. I'm going to read this book by Jim Stovall. I've got it right here. And every morning I try to come in and give you some assistance here. It says here from Jim Stovall, the book here, within these pages, let's see, Jim Stovall strikes all the heart and success of failure for all the individually and as society. Within these pages, you'll have the opportunity to define your own success and create a life mission to achieve success. Forge productivity on your own terms and then begin to succeed by effectively utilizing motivation, communication, and implementations. Okay, so it says here, among the 30 plus books I have written, this guy's written 30 books to date, my book Millionaire Map, which tells my own story of moving from poverty to becoming a millionaire, multimillionaire. You can find out more about this title and take a free millionaire assessment at www.themillionairemap.com. When writing that book, I had to do one of the most difficult things I'd ever done as a public person. I had to reveal my own net worth and audited by the Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. You can review this financial verification at the website mentioned above. So, I feel you. Let's see. I was willing to overcome the discomfort of revealing my own decamillionaire status before. I feel you as a reader to have the right to know the track record of people who are showing you the way to success, wealth, and productivity. Recent statistics tell us that there are over 9 million millionaires in the United States. And I can assure you that these 9 million ways, there are 9 million ways to reach that goal. They are valid, they are not interchangeable or transferable. Michael Jordan found his way to becoming a multi-millionaire through being arguably the greatest basketball player ever. In the prime of his career, he decided to pursue becoming a baseball player. His best efforts resulted in Michael Jordan becoming a mediocre minor leaguer. While it is remarkable that he could achieve even that status in baseball, it's exceedingly obvious that Michael Jordan's path to success was through basketball. And had he ever played baseball and never explored the other avenues paths to success, you and I would not have ever heard the name Michael Jordan. So let's say that this is a unique path for you and me that will take us down the road where we find power, pleasure, and passion in the ongoing pursuit of our personal success. No matter how hard Michael Jordan might have worked in playing baseball, he would have never reached his personal success or mastered the art of productivity without getting the baseball road and back onto the basketball road that led him to fame and fortune and success. Before you change your tires, tune up your car, and try to get in the fast lane, be sure that you're on the right road to going in the right direction that will take you to your personal success. Let's see here how we're doing. Okay. So the art of passion, chapter 6 here. It says, before you and I make a quantum leap into the motivation of communication and implementation, which are the engines of the art of productivity, we have to take a brief detour to confirm that you are on track with your personalized definition of success, your customized mission. Unless these elements fit you perfectly, you cannot reach your destination. The only thing that will make you succeed is to create more value by utilizing the art of productivity. If you're going to go through the fire of achievement, you have to make sure that you're on the exclusive road that will take you to your personal destination. The only way to gauge your accuracy in this area is to examine your passion. I have the privilege of meeting and working with some of the greatest people of the 20th century, and now the 21st century, either on stage, on television, or movies, in interviews, columns, and books. Each of these people have reached their pinnacle, an arena of business, sports, politics, and social change, or the world of entertainment. The ultimate achievements come in many shapes and sizes. There's only one element that I've been able to discern that they all have in common without fail. Each of these superstars has an unwavering and burning passion towards the personal goals they pursue. My first interview broadcast on the Narrative television network was with the legendary movie star Katharine Hepburn. We had several conversations after the interview, and I was in communication with her up until several months prior to her passing. Katharine Hepburn was a pioneer in the movie industry and received acclaim that was unparalleled both from her audience and her peers. I will never forget feeling a novice interview of sitting down with the first time to talk with Katharine Hepburn. She was intimidating to me, to say the least, but totally down to earth and unassuming. Her answer to one of my questions remains indelibly etched in my mind. I asked Miss Hepburn, if you had not found your way into show business and movie actress, what field do you feel you would have pursued throughout your life? She considered the question for a moment and then responded hesitantly, I'm not exactly sure what I would have done, but I hope I would have gone into medicine or some healing profession. Then, with that unwavering degree of certainty that movie fans came to love, she continued empathetically, if I had not been able to make a living as an actress, I would have to found another way to sustain myself and acted to support my habit, because I act out of an innate need to be an actress. This kind of passion will sustain you as it did Katharine Hepburn through the trials and triumphs of pursuing your mission to reach personal success. Everyone works hard and faces challenges and difficulties. Those people who prevail are those who are pursuing their own passion. I'm reminded of a story I often have the opportunity to share from my arena stage at events around the world. Jeff Eichen here with the morning readings. Love you all, Once upon a time, there was two ancient tribes of people who lived in a close proximity to one another. One tribe lived in a lush valley near a swiftly flowing river sustained in this valley, and their crops and livestock year-round. The valley people, agrarian lifestyle of planting, cultivating, and harvesting through the seasons, year after year. The second ancient tribe lived in the high-up mountains just below the snow line, where they dwelt in caves, and sustained themselves through hunting for meat, furs, and the mountain tribe prospered as they taught ensuing generations of young people the art of hunting and trapping. So teach the young people how to survive, everybody. That's what this book is about, The Art of Productivity by Jim Stovall. Two ancient tribes lived in different worlds. They rarely even sighted one another, even though they lived less than a day's travel and a foot from each other, as often happens when two societies or groups of people don't communicate. The two tribes began to fear one another and be suspicious of other tribes. When human beings fail to communicate and understand one another, they always assume the worst to be true. Talk to your neighbors. Before they realized it was the teenagers from the mountain tribe were running along the path through the woods that laid back to their mountain home, carrying the baby. When they saw that they were being pursued from a distance by the women of the valley tribe, before they knew it, teenage hunters from the mountain tribe had gone beyond the point of no return, and they went back to their cave dwellings with the baby, and that the baby they had kidnapped. What? That very night there was an emergency council meeting of the valley around the bonfire. The chief implored the greatest warriors to climb up the mountain and bring back his baby. At daybreak, the best and strongest warriors from the valley tribe headed up the mountain in pursuit of the chief's son. They were brave and determined, but were not accustomed to the mountain terrain, and by sundown, they returned dejectedly to the valley campsite and their forlorn chief. With the last rays of the sun setting, the chief and the people of the valley tribe spotted a long figure coming down from the mountain, and their warriors had been unable to climb. And the figure approached. It was revealed as to be the chief's wife, holding her baby son in her arms. There was a great rejoicing throughout the tribe, and when the celebration subsided, the chief asked his wife, hearing of all those assembled, "How is it that you, my wife, could climb the mountain and return with our child? The best and bravest warriors failed." When? She smiled and replied, "The answer rings true for you and me. It wasn't their baby." Your personal success and goal had better be fully in line with your deepest passion. The fact that your mother wants you to go to college, your spouse wants you to lose weight, your boss wants you to produce more, doesn't matter when we are considering the art of productivity. It relates to your mission and to your personal success through motivation, communication, and implementation. Motivation, communication, and implementation represents the power tools, but they will only work for you if it's your baby. You will know deep down whether it's your baby or if you have the passion and the fire inside you to get up that mountain of your personal success. Few people ever find that pursuit and true passion. So it's easier to see daily examples around of people mired down in mediocrity, far removed from their personal success and passion. I once worked with a gentleman that could barely drag himself to work for 30 to 45 minutes late each day and somehow slogged through his days, tasks in slow motion. He was tired, depressed, and dejected each day, and many around him questioned whether he would get out of bed. I'm out of bed. And do it again the next morning. Is that the Groundhog's Day? But then one day he asked me to go fishing, and I discovered an amazing lesson about the passion, courtesy of this gentleman. The same guy who arrived each morning in the zombie state around 10 a.m. told me that he would be picking me up for fishing on Saturday at 3 a.m. and I'm an early riser. I'm listening to my high-speed audiobooks by 4:15 or 4:30, but 3 a.m. is an hour I rarely experience. However, the prospect of observing my under-energetic friend at that forsaken hour intrigued me. So on Saturday morning at 3 a.m. sharp, when his truck pulled up into my driveway, I got into the cab of the truck expecting the worst. What? I received a surprise in my life when I greeted by one of the most enthusiastic, energetic, passionate people I've ever met. By 4:30, we were wading high deep in freezing stream, and it was a nonstop bundle of joy with few brief breaks for food and water and constant fishing machine on fire until long after sunset. As we drove home, he gave me an excited blow-by-blow recap of his 13 hours of fishing that day. As we approached my house and he dropped me off, it dawned on me that we had found his passion, his power groove. When I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a professional football player, but when I was diagnosed with a condition that eventually robbed me of my eyesight, I knew I would never make the NFL. So I became a competitive Olympic weightlifter and actually won a national championship for my weight class and division. Among the weightlifters, is well known that there's a power groove, which is a narrow range of motion which weightlifters significantly stronger than average person. However, if the strongest weightlifter in the world gets a few inches out of his power groove, his strength diminishes geometrically. Your and my professional and personal lives are the same way. If we live, move, and have our being within the realm of our passion, we're unbeatable. But if we get out of our power groove, like the passionate fisherman on an average workday in the office, we are doomed to failure. George Burns told me that if you love your job, you will never have to work a day in your life. My partner, Micaiah, told me, turn work into play. I got to interview the golf legend Lee Trevino late in his career. He told me after consecutive weeks of playing competitive golf, he would come home and throw his clubs in the garage and tell anyone who would listen, I'm never going to play golf again. But after that good night's sleep, he was generally rummaging around in the garage, loading up his golf clubs and heading out to get a golf course somewhere. He shrugged and sheepishly explained, Jim, I just love to play golf. Probably the highlight of my celebrity interviews was the afternoon I spent with Frank Sinatra. No one before or since has dominated the show for half a century like Frank Sinatra did. And there was an amazing energy around Mr. Sinatra. He and his entourage had taken over several floors of a major hotel in preparation for a concert he was doing that night. The street had been barricaded for blocks, and the hotel security was extremely tight. News helicopters were flying around. It was an amazing environment. I remember commenting to Mr. Sinatra, several of his people, that they had created quite a stir in Dallas. Mr. Sinatra was a bit perplexed and bewildered and asked of one of his confidants, do you know what this guy is talking about? The nearest bodyguard assistant replied, yes, sir, I do, but you probably don't. Then it dawned on me, for this entire adult life, Frank Sinatra had never been aware that he wasn't receiving the same Frank Sinatra effect that Dallas was expecting that day. He thought the chaos was normal. He had a great interview and empathized passion in several ways. I asked him, a movie star, recording artist, and a TV personality, was so much how he would like to be remembered. He said, I would like to be remembered as a guy telling a simple story throughout that song that made people feel things. As I was getting ready to leave that after that interview, he called out to me with the words, I'll never forget, hey kid, I hope you live to be 100 years old, and the last thing you ever hear is me singing you a song. May you and I similarly find our own passion in life. Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I'm weak or whether I'm strong, I gotta be me. I've gotta be me. Love you, everybody. That was the art of productivity today, and maybe we'll read more. That's a pretty nifty reading today. Let me get a holder for that page. That was really good. Peace out, everybody. Have a great morning. Get productivity started.